Yeah. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. It's coming back, my man. It's coming back. Longest day, longest mileage since the accident, longest mileage since the dehydration. Knocked out 8 miles, shaved the average mile time to around 9:17, but for the first 3 or 4 miles, I was at like 8:30. So in 2 weeks, when this 5K comes around, you already know what the goal is, to get some get back, like I was telling you the other day, like my man Corey Boatman said a couple years ago. Time for some get back. Time for some get back. It's time to lock the fuck in. Lock the fuck in. Let's go. All right. Today's Move Swiftly thought. All right. Today's Move Swiftly thought. Very, very, as they all are. They're all very important, but this one is very key in regards to how you're going to service people. How you're going to service people, all right? How you're going to service, not the people that have already paid you. Yes, it's one thing, but you got to get to people who are going to pay you in order for them to become folk that already paid you. So you got to service people in a certain way, service large groups of people in a certain way. Yesterday, at the kidney walk, like I was telling you guys, leading up to the event, turned out to be a very good day. The event did 100 times better than it did last year. They had Big Zo there, the legendary Big Zo there. And, they raised more money, just incredible. I still walk around with it to this day. I still walk around it. Look at it. Love your kidney. Still walk around with it to this day. Now, I have a lot of backstory when it comes to this particular illness. It was something that my father lived through. I had to watch my father live through this. My grandfather actually passed away from this same kidney failure, and it's a story that I can tell over and over. In fact, I did tell the story. I went on live yesterday. I went on Instagram live yesterday and kind of told the story about how my sister was the one that actually convinced my father to get the transplant, unknowingly put his name on the list, the whole night. So it's a lot of things I can say in regards to this disease and this illness. And the point of it is, everybody don't give a shit. All right, everybody don't give a shit. And when I say that, I say that in the nicest way. I don't mean to say that as to say people are just cynical in general, but people don't care about your story until they're ready to listen to it, or there's a certain time frame when it's appropriate to lay out and talk a bunch about how you lived through this and what you lived through and all that kind of stuff. There's a time and a place, and you have to be so glued in to how you're going to service people that you know when the right time and the right place is to tell your story. All right. So yesterday was a prime example. Like last year, Miss Barbara, shout out to Barbara Chapman, who's been on this podcast. I believe the episode is titled The Kidney Foundation. Barbara, again, she introduced me to the crowd as someone who's going to be doing the warm-ups. And, she gave me the mic to, talk about my business, talk about myself, talk about my story, whatever it is I wanted to talk about, like she did last year. She just, hey, go ahead, have at it, right? Have at it. The microphone is yours, right? And instead of laying out my entire story about, how my father had it, how my sister did this, and, talking all about what I lived through, what I watched my dad go through on dialysis and all that stuff. Instead of, boring the audience with that, I felt the room. One of my mentors, his name is Jonathan Spikes, he's been on this podcast as well. This episode is titled Affirming Youth. I remember we did a coaching session with him on public speaking, and one of the main things he told me was, like, you got to feel the room. So right before she introduced me, she had a line filled with the people who have gotten the transplant, like my father, gotten the transplant, survivors who've gotten the transplant, the people that are on dialysis, all that. And there was just this high energy in terms of, just people celebrating them, being happy for them, and the whole nine. And I wanted to just keep that energy flowing, as opposed to them being selfish and telling them all about my story and how it's a serious situation amongst my family. No, I just said, hey, let's just keep that energy going. I got them to clap louder. Let's give them more of a round of applause. And then I just briefly said, yeah, like she said, I'm going to be the one doing the warm-ups. I pointed just to the spot in which we'd be doing the warm-ups. And then I recreated the energy by coming up with a brand new chant. It's a chant that I actually came up with just last year while I was on that stage. stage, and I just thought of it while I was on stage last year. So I just simply brought it back, and I would say, 1, 2, 3, and they'd respond with love your kidney. So it's 1, 2, 3, love your kidney. 1, 2, 3, love your kidney. And I just kept that same energy flowing throughout the entire, from the time I was on stage to the time in which I, actually did the warm-ups with them and had them, doing high knees and stretching and all that kind of stuff. And that in itself is going to make it so they remember this face, right? As opposed to, trying to bore them with a story that, is going to take me probably 10 to 15 minutes to really give them all the details about it and, just not be at the appropriate time, all right? These are important lessons because a lot of you guys listening to me, you have great skills, you have great ideas, you have great things you want to do, but your timing is so off when it comes to how you're going to service people and how you're going to get people to buy into what it is you're doing. Your timing is everything, all right? And I do have multiple episodes which I do deeper dives on this, and I'll have more because this, as we're approaching this new season, this is a very, very vital skill that you have to have because it starts with how unselfish you actually really are, all right? Main website to check out to dive deeper into all of this work, makeyourmove.com. That's makeyourmove.com. One-stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker. Check it out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.